Hello, beautiful people. I pray you're having a blessed day. I'm Pastor Kay, and I wanted to talk about stumbling blocks and just kind of see your opinions on some things. So, in Luke 17:1 in the ESV version, it says, "And he said to his disciples, temptation to sin are sure to come, but woe to the one through whom they come." What if we are meant to do things to prevent people from stumbling? For example, as I work on myself, I noticed that my behaviors have changed, right? And so in a recovery ministry, we should not act a certain way because people are always watching, and it's so that you're not a stumbling block for them. Um, you know, one of the things I noticed is some people have an addiction to vaping, and so they think vaping's okay because it's better for you, but it's actually worse than smoking cigarettes. It's crazy that you would think that's better for you. So people are vaping in front of our recovery uh, doors. Like when they're walking through the door, they're walking through people vaping. And I'm like, guys, you don't see that you're a stumbling block? Like, if you're going to vape, don't do it around here. Like, that's not cool. You shouldn't do it at all. But if you're going to do it, don't be a problem or temptation for somebody else. People don't need to sin with you, right? And so people get offended or hurt or whatever, but we can't prevent other people's healing because we're not ready to grow. So what is it in your life that you are a stumbling block for, right? Um Matthew 18:6, but whoever causes one of these little ones to believe in me to sin, it would be better for him to have a great millstone fastened around his neck to be drowned in the depth of the sea. So, my ex doesn't believe in the Lord, doesn't want my daughter to believe in the Lord. And scripturally, I pray that he ends up having a relationship with the Lord, that he would heal from the things he needs healing from. But if he prevents our daughter from serving the Lord and loving the Lord, it's better for him to have had a millstone fastened around his neck and be drowned in the depth of the sea. I mean, that's horrible. So the Lord warns us when we're a stumbling block for others, right? And so our prayer is always, hey, Lord, fix their heart, fix their eyes, let them see you for who you truly are and not for who they thought you are. Because most people are mad at God and then they put God in this genie category, like you didn't answer my wishes, and so you can't be real. Um, the um, the temptation to sin comes through enticing, right? If I quit vaping and I'm seeing people vape in front of the church and I'm trying to get to my recovery group or I'm trying to get inside the church on a service, that's a stumbling block. That puts me in a bad position, and we can't have that. And so, no matter what you're going through, you want to be around people who are always working on themselves and doing better because it's contagious. Whatever you're around is contagious. If you're around negativity, it's contagious. If you're around positive people, it's contagious. And when you're hurting and you're around positive people, you're like, what is this? Why are they so happy? What do they have to be happy about? But as we're healing and growing and peeling those layers, it changes everything. So, in our behavior, are we a stumbling block for other people as we're healing and growing? Are we enabling bad behavior? Are we sinning with people um, because we don't want to do it alone? Those are questions that, like, I've been asking myself. Am I doing enough? Am I doing the right things? And I look and I'm like, okay, I'm trying to lift people up, but I love them enough to tell them the truth. I'm not telling them the truth to hurt them, but I'm not allowing them to be comfortable in their sin life if they want to grow. For example, I had a girl I was mentoring, and she was talking about her husband, my husband this and my husband that. And I said, hold up, stop right there. Before we even look at your husband, we're going to look in the mirror. Who needs to be helped and fixed and corrected? Because as you're talking negative and speaking death over your husband, your brain is starting to be programmed to think all those negative things are true, to the point where you no longer even want to see him in the same room with you. So that has to stop right there. And so then we worked on her attitude, her behavior, her responses, her relationship with God. So it was all about her. It wasn't about the husband. And as she grew in the Lord, as she grew in her relationship, her responses would change. As she grew in her time with the Lord and her alone time there, her reactions to her husband changed. Her reactions as a mom changed. And what happened was that was how she ministered to her husband, and he started to change. So if we want other people to change, we have to change first. We have to change how we respond. We have to change how we react, and we have to enhance our relationship with the Lord, because as we're interceding and standing in the gap for them and praying for them, they are going to start to change. I pray over my husband every single day. I pray specifically like a cheeseburger, all the things. Same for our children. The older kids are not in our lives right now. We always pray because due to parental alienation, right? They believe a lot of lies that aren't necessarily true, right? It's perceptional things that they are stuck with. And so even their memories aren't accurate on what's actually happened in the past. So we pray for restoration and reconciliation. And we pray for the prodigals to return home. We pray for them to have a relationship with the Lord. But as we are waiting for that to happen, because we believe the Lord will do that, our waiting is active. We're continuing to work on ourselves. We're continuing to grow. We're continuing to heal. And so, where are you in your healing journey? Are you upset with other people because they don't change? Are you working on yourself? Because if you're working on you, you will notice that people around you change. I am blessed to have reconciled with a ministry leader who we didn't get along at all. And through a lot of prayer and a lot of changing in myself, we started to get along, and now we work together and everything is more peaceful and God is doing something there. But if I hadn't have changed my attitude, my perspective, my relationship closer with the Lord, I would not have had the blessing to see what God could do in this relationship. So if you love someone, do you lie to them or placate them, or do you tell them what they want to hear? That's a form of people pleasing. That's a form of pride. Is that helpful to them? And so those are the things you got to ask. Am I actually helping someone with advice, or do I need to worry about working on myself first? And it's okay to put the oxygen mask on you. And as you are a little bit further along in your journey from the next person, you can help lift them up and they can be going along with you. But if you don't have a foundation in Jesus, if you're not firm in that, if you're not solid on the rock that is Jesus, how can you give advice? What if your advice is actually hurting them? And so look at the fruit. Um, when I mentor people, it's okay to break up with them. It like in the aspect of, hey, you're not listening to a thing I say. I have to keep moving on. I'm going to be over here. My arms are wide open when you're ready, but you're not ready right now, and that's okay. But I got to keep moving forward. And so some people aren't going to move forward with you, and that's okay. You cannot force people to heal. Everyone is on their own journey, and they're going to have to do that on their own. And so one of my beautiful girls I've mentored, she had to break up with toxic relationships. And it wasn't that she was in a relationship with a man that was toxic, but she was in a codependent relationship with a friend who was extremely toxic, where she was kind of like the sugar mama and she was being drained. There's a book called The Energy Bus. It's not a Christian book, like it's just a book about who you allow on the bus that is your life. And this would be referred to as an energy vampire. And so this person was sucking all her energy, was taking everything from her, like her time, her just joy. And she had to make some decisions. She had to decide, is this right for me? Am I doing the right things? So do you have any energy vampires in your life that are sucking you dry and taking and taking and taking? It's okay to hold a boundary. even if they're family members. I love my family, but the boundary is you will not suck me dry. I have to keep moving forward in the Lord. And if the Lord hasn't guided me in that area, I'm not providing in that area. I have to serve where I'm to be, and not just because we're blood relatives, because it's okay to not put yourself in toxic situations. It's okay not to. You can love someone with a boundary up. And my boundary is I have to protect my peace to keep moving forward. Um, so this girl breaks up with her in the aspect of breaking up with a toxic friendship. She cuts off the cords and we break off the soul ties, and she got a little warfare for that. As soon as you break off soul ties, we'll talk about that another day. There's some extreme warfare with that. And so she starts moving forward, and the Lord blessed her with favor in every corner she went. And now she has energy. And there's moments where she has bad days, right? Like we're human, but she smiles brighter. She's happier. And so it's okay to put the oxygen mask on yourself and continue to move forward as long as you understand what healthy boundaries look like. And the Bible's full of healthy boundaries. The Lord warns, the Lord punishes because he loves. And think about our children. If we punish our children, and not to abuse them, but to steer them to go in the right way, it's out of love because we want better for them. That's what the Lord does with us. So, I hope to hear your perspective on, are you loving people wholeheartedly, or are you trying to people please? Are you helping, or are you being sucked dry? Are you empty and need your cup filled? What does your day look like? Well, I pray you have a blessed day. I hope to see you again soon, and I'm just very, very thankful that you're here. Bye.